right, so we here at the Triple Double Juice Company in East Orange, New Jersey. I got my guy with me. This one has been in the works for a while, but we just had to wait until the new year started to kick it off properly. We have New Jersey's Artist of the Year in 2020 according to Garden State Hip Hop, and that's about as far as I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna let him do the rest of his intro. So go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
It's your boy Jon Crawford, by way of Camden, New Jersey. I really don't know what else to say. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. First of all, thank you for sitting down with us.
Appreciate you, man.
Like I said, this was a long time coming in terms of how long we planned this out. I think that it was good that we started this year with a music artist,
Facts.
Because I think that this is going to be a big year for music, and you coming off of a big year.
Definitely transitional.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be transitional this year.
Right. So I guess we could go ahead and hop right into it with your 2020 and how you kind of approached going into this project that you released.
Well, for what it's worth, it was really just a combination of the last 3 years and all the ups and downs and everything that everyone's been enduring, and it was really just a byproduct of my environment and whatever the stuff that I was going through the past 3 years to create this project. But for it to have done what it did and what it will continue to do as a staple in my career, who knows? But I'm excited about it. It's doing really good now, so
So I'm sure you would consider this a byproduct of not just yourself but your team as well.
Facts. It was definitely a team. It was definitely a team effort. I couldn't have done it without Jameer, Amir, my engineer, or Denzel, or Eric, or just any of the artists that featured. Everyone definitely played their role and played their part, and I just felt like because we look at this Deadpool Society as like a brotherhood, and that's how we move, and we just knew if we did everything off love that nothing but love would come out. So that's how I'm looking at the project, and it was a team. It was really just a team effort.
For sure. How did your team even come together? The Deadpool Society, is this something that was like a long time coming? Like,
it really just came off me recruiting, scoping out talent, and a lot of it was God. But so I met Jameer. This nigga filming this shit right now. I met him. What was it? Maybe like 2017, around that time, and we had the same Spanish class, and I didn't know he filmed and he didn't know I did music until I guess he heard the music and then I seen he filmed. So, but I didn't know until one day. I forget what you said. You said some bullshit and we kind of just figured out.
Yeah. And
we were just like, yo, like, what's up? And then we did our first shoot out in Brooklyn, and from there it just kind of tumbled. And my engineer, Amir, I knew him since high school. He went off to Full Sail, did his thing, and then came back and was like, yo, like, let's get some work done.
Word.
It's always iffy giving niggas chances to play with your vocals.
That's a fact.
And I was just getting to a stage in my artistry where it was like, I need that clear and crisp sound. And the first song that we did is the song off the album Anxiety, and that was our first song we ever did. So that's how I met him, and the production all came through Ayo and Fierce, and myself of course. But yeah, I met Ayo off of SoundCloud, and from there we built our relationship. And he lives in Texas. And just been an in-house producer ever since. Like, that's my dog. That's how our team came together.
Word, that's dope. Yeah. All right. I want to take it back a little bit further. Because like I said before, this was a real big project. I know that you guys put a lot of effort as a group into putting this together. You know what I mean? It sounds very, very refined, and as if, you know, time and effort was put into it. But I want to know about Jon Crawford as the artist in terms of the development and the come up, you know, and kind of the journey that led up to this before the album. What would you say defines you as an artist and influences?
I guess the progression of just where I like from university to Circle of Life to just being what probably about my fourth project, you know what I mean? Fourth official, but like second LP, like
right.
The progression has been real, but it's just really just hard work and dedication to just I got like a, you know, that just an obsession with it. I just had to literally make every decision of my life put into hip hop, you know what I mean? And that's where it's got me this far, and you know that's what I'm gonna continue to keep doing, because that's the formula. I feel like just moving with my heart, as far as like progression and stuff like that. But what was the rest of the question?
I mean, you pretty much answered it.
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know what I mean, figure out exactly what you're asking for, because there's just so much to the story, you know what I mean?
Well, I kind of want to know how you sort of developed your brand.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the development of the brand, just using my name, you know what I mean? Like it becoming like something. When people see me, and you know what I mean, they be like, "Oh, he's he's distinguished, like
right.
That's Jon Crawford." Like you know what I mean? Using that to catapult me and really drive my image as an artist within the music and just in general. You know what I mean? So
you would say that you spent a considerable amount of time developing your brand.
Basically, yeah, like because I feel like that's all you have as an artist.
Right.
As an artist, you know what I mean, is who you are. Do you want to be a shitty person? Do you want to be,
you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody is taking these roles of things I feel like they aren't truly. You know what I mean? So why not just keep it trail and talk about what I know, what I've been through? You feel me?
Do you think that your surroundings, in terms of where you came up, are influencing your music, or you can hear it in your music, or would you say that in this internet era you're more of a global sounding artist, pulling influence from everywhere else?
I mean, I would never try to just put myself in one box, just cause like I have so many new sounds that people haven't heard. You know what I mean? So I would never say that like my sound would be just put in one box. But I do feel like if I was coming up during, you know, maybe an era like before internet hit, you know what I mean, and the followers and everything mattered, maybe. You know, I think I would definitely be in a conversation more, just cause like I'm a more lyrical artist.
Word.
But yeah.
Who would you say some of your influences are?
Some of my influences musically, I definitely listened to a lot of Nas when I first like, you know, was trying to learn the history of hip hop. Definitely a lot of Nas. Definitely a lot of J. Cole. Everybody said they could hear that in my music, and as you know, maybe that's just the lyricism. You know what I mean? And a lot of artists right now aren't that lyrical, so
that's a fact.
The fact that I'm able to gel it off in secular music right now is, I guess that's pretty special. You know what I mean? Nobody's really doing that in popular music right now. Really spitting at least, and still being able to tell a story.
You spoke about the importance of the process in developing your brand. I want to talk about your vlogs and how they play a part in how you see creating content or reaching your audience and really connecting with them.
The vlogs, I feel like they were meant to be intimate. You know what I mean? They were meant to hit you somewhere where you haven't been like hit in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted it like that just because like we were capturing something so special that, you know, maybe after this things are never the same again, and you know this was our process. You know what I mean? And
not for sure.
And yeah, I just feel like that's just an important aspect of just having a team in general, just because you have somebody to document stuff like that for you. You know what I mean? And that's how that rolls into that.
Word. Okay, that's cool. I want to talk about the I want to talk about this Artist of the Year thing with Garden State Hip Hop. That's not a small title to bear, you know?
Facts.
And I want to talk about how that kind of came to be. Did they just reach out, or do you feel like it was more so or was it like a back and forth where it's like, yo, this is what I've provided to the culture this year, and how are you gonna respond?
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect that, Jon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I definitely, there's a bunch of artists.
Yeah.
Mad artists out here.
Word.
So, I just feel like I reached out, I submitted my music as anybody else would. I'm no different, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, you know what I mean? It's just, it's bigger than us. So, yeah, I submitted my music, and that's what I got back, and I was just like, that's a big title.
Mm-hmm.
I was crying a little bit, but because we put a lot of hard work into it, yeah. So
you celebrate your victories for sure.
Exactly, yeah. So, but I mean, I'm not looking at that in any aspect to.
And you feel like it's well deserved?
I mean, who am I to say that? You know what I mean? I feel like
you can talk your shit.
Yeah, I feel like I work hard as anybody else. You know what I mean?
Word.
Because I'm providing quality content and music. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just out here just spitting a spit or just trying to just catch a trend. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for a while. You know what I mean? And niggas really just put out a really victorious album. So, I mean, yeah, but I'm not looking at that title as, you know what I mean, as my validation either. I feel like a lot of artists would get that and be content or satisfied with that. But I'm just, it's just a title. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Because that's not who I am. Like, yeah, if people are saying that, that's cool. But I have so much bigger aspirations than just, album of the year.
Exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not looking at that as the grand all be all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta go back to work the next day, just like anybody else.
Right.
So yeah.
Who are some other artists who you've reached out to, or that you think that are just up there as well with you in terms of talent in Jersey?
There's a few people I really give their flowers to constantly. Definitely feel like Soulful is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Soulful. Definitely feel like Malk is definitely coming up. He's definitely blossoming right now. I listen to him. I feel like he is well deserved of what he's doing. And him and Russ and the well-oiled machine they got over there in '84. And who else? Eric Sky. He's a South Jersey artist, but he definitely has something special that a lot of people, aren't ready for and haven't been ready for in a long time, being he's from Deptford, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Who else could I say? His name, he's a artist based out of like I want to say he's a more North Jersey based artist, but his name's Real Quest. And he's a R&B singer. He's really talented. Somebody I definitely look at as has the regards to be considered someone special in this game as well. I don't even know who else. There's so many artists. I don't want to leave anyone out, and then just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody feel offended.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it go though. You can't name everybody.
You can't please everybody. But I mean, those are just a few that I can just think of off the top of my head.
I'm glad you brought up Eric Sky though, because I wanted to pivot towards the album and talk about the features as well. I want to talk about the album in totality, but I kind of want to start with the features, and I want to move into how you kind of structured this project and what you would say the overall theme is. So we gotta break that up in like the two. Yeah.
So say that first question again.
Well, I kind of want to. We could start with how the theme behind the project, and then how you chose your feature artists for the project.
So the theme of For What It's Worth is, in totality, just sacrifice. You know what I mean? How much are you willing to give? How much are you willing to put forward into your art? in which you just know it's gonna work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone has a goal and everyone has a dream, but everyone was not willing to risk everything that they own, or you know, every decision based upon that. You know, your career path in life. Like people are fine with with certain things, and that's what, for what it's worth, is really just about just like sacrificing, just giving everything that you got to something that you know is gonna work out, basically.
That's really that's a really good detailed theme to get into, especially in 2020. You know, I know you said that you you said it was 3 years in the making.
About 2.5, so yeah,
Word.
around that.
And how, when it came down to choosing who would be on it, did you think that you would rather keep it close to the people who were like more so in your inner circle, or did you think that it would be better if you reached out to more people? Because I see that it's only 3 people, you know, and it's a considerably short project as well. And you know, with albums, you know, you try to get in and you speak your message and you get out as clean as possible without, you know, putting too many projects on there that may not be necessary. And what goes into choosing what goes on a project and who goes on a project?
So the people that I chose for my project, I mean, it just happened to be one of them that I knew, 2 of them that I had met in the making, you know?
Yeah.
So I met Eric about 2019, the end of 2019. And I just heard his vocals and I was just like, yo, you know, we just built our relationship organically. Yeah, we built our relationship organically, and it just tumbled into, you know, us making that the intro. And it was just really powerful and strong. I was like, wow, this is special. And it felt special at the time. So that's how, you know, that came to be about. Meeting Casper, I met him through a mutual friend, and you know, just some people, you know, they just kind of draw towards each other, and you just start talking and blah 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 blah. And
right.
Yo, I got a beat. Yo, I got a verse. Blah 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 blah. Shit going in. Shit come out.
Let's make it work.
Yeah, and shit just. He came in and did his verse like 10 minutes. And shit, you know what I mean? And it shit was just perfect. I was like, all right, perfect. This is as hard as I want the album to be. You know what I mean? Because it had to match the intensity of 14 racks in a way, but differently. You know what I mean? And so that's how Hustle came to be. And Bad Waheim, which is doing really well right now. That is at like, I want to say like 6,000, 7,000 Jons itself. So, yeah, nah, he did his thing. I met him in high school, and you know, he's just somebody I've always held in regard as like somebody who has talent and is special. So that's how I chose all them, my features for the project. But I just feel like, I mean, sometimes people have goals with projects, and then sometimes the features you just like, y'all meet one night and shit just come out, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's not even
always planned, so
premeditated.
Yeah,
it could just come together.
Exactly.
Do you plan on putting out a deluxe version of this project?
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. People are asking, and I'm just like, should I? But nah, I want to leave this as its own thing, because now it's time to, like, you know what I mean?
It's time to keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly. Get into the development of more music and more just car rides and stuff, you know what I mean? Just stuff for the different environments. And I feel like I catered to lyricism for a long time. It'll always be part of my, you know, my tool set. But now it's time to really, I want people to really feel in my production where I am emotionally at certain periods and stuff like that. So now it's time to really just catapult and really just hop in every space. So yeah, I that's where I feel like I am. That's where the next project is probably gonna go. So I don't feel like this project needs a deluxe.
Well, this album came out in November, so I guess what I'm wondering is, since you don't want to put out a deluxe, do you think that the time that it took to put this project together takes away from how well, or how you receive responses from people now?
Yeah,
because it's like, yo, you've been doing this for
definitely.
so long. Is like I hear about artists who work on projects and then they go on tour, and by the time they go on tour, the album is old to them. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not like they kind of want to stay constant and stay looking forward in new music. And would you say that that's sort of aligned with how you viewing it as well?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a cool title to hold, but like I said, it's just a title. It don't mean nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I still am who I am at the end of the day. Like, but like you say, yeah, it gets old. Like, this project was done probably like 9 months before it released. So we've been listening to it for 9 months. Not only that, we listen to every single track, you know, every time.
Yeah. You gotta listen to it over
times.
and over and over again. Make sure it's perfect.
I mean? Exactly. So, yeah, the shit was old to me. So I'm not looking at that title. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you know, it's a great title to have. I can brag about it. I can boast, blah 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 blah. But like
even outside of you receiving that award, I think that you know, it does as a creator. Even, you know, you work on something for so long, and then by the time you put it out, you focus on something else. So I guess what my question is, are you working on something else currently, or are you just sort of chilling? Like, this is your vacation time. November just passed, so you know this kind of would be like the little layover, you know, to see how your music performs and everything.
I mean, I am. I am. Yeah, I've been working on, you know, the next project, just because it's like, I feel like if you want to be considered great, you have to hold that. You know, you have to hold that that statue for yourself. Like,
for
okay,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to hold that that standard to yourself. You have to be like, okay, well, if niggas is practicing 2 times a day, I gotta go practice 3 or 4.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's never no break when it comes to like just trying to be the best. Like, there's other artists who are, you know, rapping when I'm sleeping, and that alone make me mad. So I'm like, you know, like, I'm always working on something fresh, something new. I feel like every artist is, you know, especially in today's climate. Like, you say, nigga, Frank took off like, you know, 3 years in a regular, you know what I mean? Somebody come back in 3 years, you're like, shit, I forgot about that motherfucker. But, you know, we not in our era no more where, unless you're just a top tier one, you know what I mean? Like,
nah, I definitely know how it go.
You'll definitely fall off quick in this game. There's about, for every one of me, it's 10 mumble rap niggas, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Which is kind of crazy to think about. And I'm just like, okay, if that's my ratio, then I know whatever I have to do has to be A1. You know what I mean? So people regurgitate it and receive it as like, wow, it's not oversaturating in lyricism, but it's not bad, you know, sonically. You know, beat wise and stuff like that. So
it's crazy that you feel like you have to compete with like the mumble rappers, because there was a time where, you know, the lyricists and the mumble rappers didn't feel like they were in competition with each other, but we're in this era where everybody's consistently putting out projects. So it's like, if they are putting out 7 singles or 7 EPs or 3 mixtapes, 4 albums, you know what I mean? It's like, well, where's the space for my project to end up on a playlist somewhere if it's gonna be 20 of these rainbow hair guys on there? You know, like.
Yeah, Mike, funny. Okay.
I mean, do you feel like you in competition with these guys, or like?
I feel like when you put music out at that quick of a pace, you definitely gonna burn yourself out faster. You going in the booth and saying the same thing every single day because you've been doing the same thing every single. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if that's how you're doing it, cool. But yeah, I just feel like when you move that fast at a pace, like, it's easier to burn yourself out. And I mean, I don't know what the analysis of it is, but I'm sure, you know, people who take time off to really experience life and really go through life and really write about these things that they're feeling, and not just, you know what I mean, trying to make record sales real quick. I feel like they probably have a whole, you know, a more loyal fan base, because, you know, people know that they dedicate and take time, which means their fan base will always listen to whatever they have to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So as an artist in this day and age, we know that we can't keep it as simple as just putting out music and just being an artist. You know, you kind of have to sprawl. You kind of have to expand your horizons and get into content creation and be creative with your music videos and your graphics and your merch and stuff like that. How does that come into play with your brand?
I'm definitely not just doing anything just to get a quick buck, you know what I mean? But I'm definitely dabbling in a lot of areas right now, but I'm not looking at that as like a, you know, let's just jump off the roof, let's just go put some t-shirts out just cause. I definitely have a package coming out soon for my little fan base and stuff like that. But I try to not pay attention to what everyone else is doing and just focus on, you know what I mean? Like what we got going on that way. I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm not looking at all these crazy things too much. If that makes sense. So
no, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I won't try to just follow a trend for whatever everyone else is doing, like customizing shit, and I'm not just gonna try to hop on that. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
no, I get it.
I rather when it comes out and I start doing all that stuff, it's in my light. You know what I mean? And it's exactly what I envision for myself. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So.
All right. Well, let's talk about 2021. What's coming? You know, like, do you think that a project is coming out this year?
Definitely. Definitely not gonna take any more time off. I'm about to go on a little run and definitely come back a lot stronger, a lot harder, a lot faster. That's what she said.
Well, while you thinking,
yeah,
I do have
I just said that shit and I'm cracking up because that's just like an inside joke, whatever.
Nah, it's all good.
But definitely just smacking niggas in the heads with mad singles. Probably a project this summer. Yeah, definitely got some things in the work. The vid for 14 Racks about to drop, so that's coming soon. I know a lot of people been asking about that lead single. So, yeah.
How do you feel? Because you know, this age that we're living in is kind of single heavy, and I myself didn't predict that. But do you think that it's better to lead a project run with a bunch of singles, or do you think that it's better to just put the project out? Because I think that the era we're living in, we're kind of forced to live with singles for an extended amount of time. And you know, I think that it would do better if people digested projects in totality, but like we can't even do that anymore.
It really depends on what you're trying to get across at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really just depends on what your end goal is. Like, do you want 1 million streams or blah blah blah? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you really focusing on all these singles? You know what I mean? But and there's just some people who's talented enough that those are their singles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really just depends. It varies from each artist. I definitely feel like the age of listening to a project fully through and this being considered, like for what it's worth, being considered in totality makes me feel good because it lets me know that it wasn't just a jump around project. You know what I mean? So maybe that there are still people who do that. You know what I mean? Clearly, and people who appreciate that. So I mean, it really just depends what you're trying to get across as an artist. I can't say I won't never do it, and I won't say you know, but. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But as of right now, with the industry being single heavy, I feel like sometimes with some of these artists, that's what they're here for. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. No slight to anybody. We all have our own talents, but, you know, that's what people are around to do. Some people just put out 1 million singles, and that's just their career. You know? It is what it is. Like, it's no slight to anybody. So, and then there's
as long as those singles is big enough to keep your plate full.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's people like J. Cole who would take 2 years off or 3 years off to just, you know, and it come out just fire. And that's what he really been going through. Like, you know, it just is what it is.
Okay, so I guess my last question for you is, what is the first thing you plan on doing when the world opens back up? Artistically, I guess.
Man, I can't wait to get back to shows, bro. Shows, they play such a big part in our culture. Like
most definitely.
Like concerts are its own culture itself. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely can't wait to get back to doing shows. And I can't really. There's so much shit I want to do, but like,
because you've been inside.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, everything, to be honest. But yeah, no. As far as artistically, definitely get back to shows. Meeting is so much better meeting people organically than it is.
For sure.
You know, you touch people in a certain light. They're able to see you, feel you, hear you live, and that is an experience for them. You know what I mean? And you giving them your art, and they're appreciating it essentially. And I just feel like that's just the best way to connect with your fan base and to show them that, like, yo, I'm really here. You feel me? And I feel like that's what's taking my brand as far as it has just me being active with everyone and everyone tapping in, just because, you know, when you show love, you get love back.
Most definitely.
So, yeah, I can't wait to get back to shows, bro.
Word. I can't wait to get to another show. I miss live music.
Yo, for
myself.
Real.
Yeah, like it's been a while.
Yo,
like
for real.
I had a nice little lineup of shows that I was gonna go to last year, and I didn't make it to pretty much any of them. I only think going to one concert last year in January. Roddy Ricch.
And I know that had to been special. I know that had to been special. I fuck with Roddy a lot, man. I know that had to been special.
Yeah.
So, bet.
All right. Well, thank you for sitting down with me. This was a great talk. Definitely. We definitely got some big things coming in the future. So go ahead and plug out all your projects and everything that you got coming on the way.
Shit, go stream For What It's Worth. It's a great album. Follow me on all my handles, JNCRWFD on Instagram and Twitter, and also Tumblr. If you fuck with Tumblr, I fuck with Tumblr. So
I fuck with Tumblr.
You feel me?
For
the aesthetic.
Word.
But definitely go follow me. I can't wait to get back to music and just giving out some more heat for people. Yeah, it's your boy, Jon Crawford.
Thank you, brother. And as always, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at VS Mike History. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Versus Mike History. Catch me on Twitter at catch me on Twitter at Mike History, and on Instagram at Last Name History. And as always, all information regarding the podcast can be found at versusmikehistory.com, and make sure you follow Versus Mike History on the Fanbase app. I will see you guys later.
Bop.